Hey guys, what's up? Total Control 871 and welcome to the new Cesium channel. I'm going to be posting my videos on Cesium first and then later on to Total Control. Not too much longer, maybe a day later or so. Um, or I might just do them both simultaneously, maybe for the time being. And, well, I'll play it by ear because, as I've stated, uh, Silicon Valley, they're definitely playing for keeps. They're looking to shut this channel down, and I don't know, maybe they're trying to do it in a way where they come away smelling like roses. I don't really know. I don't really feel like struggling with camera orientation or a bunch of windows today, so I'm just simply going to shoot with the camera, and that's about it. I've got my topics. Got my topics written down, and we'll talk about them. Please tell me, my spectacles. Bloody hell, mate. What? Oh my. I hope to God I am not sitting on my glasses. Hold on. Okay. Whew. No, I was not sitting on them, thank God. Alright, my voice carries, so apologies for the fan in the background, but I can't exactly afford to keep the air conditioning running during the summer, so let's get down to it. Facebook ad revenue. I don't have any. Neither this channel, none of my channels, and definitely not Facebook. I don't make a dime off of anything. However, I have been keeping an eye on the whole Facebook advertiser boycott thing. For those of you who were into the whole monetizing of YouTube a few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, what is clandestinely referred to as the ad apocalypse, where allegedly there was a white nationalist commercial or ad on a excuse me, it was a Coca-Cola commercial ad on a white nationalist's channel, and that was the excuse that was set into motion to crack down and to tightly control. Believe that like you want. It was just simply my opinion that corporate media understood where viewership was trending to and going. Nobody gives a shit about your bullshit expensive ass cable. Just costs way too much fucking money. And of course they would go to platforms other than cable to view, you know. So they wanted to establish their presence, and of course you know, they Jewish owned and controlled corporate media, TV, Hollywood, okay? It's controlled by the oligarchy, and they understood that they need to have a hegemonic presence in Silicon Valley if they want to stay competitive. Hence the whole ad apocalypse. Facebook would be the next stage of this. The problem that really becomes a problem here, see, in the beginning it was just a bunch of creators who were effectively getting bridle bits shoved in their mouth and forced to shut up about certain topics. Another reason why I never monetized this channel. I refuse to be controlled by money. So a lot of creators, they immediately capitulated to that demand so that they could continue to get their revenue checks. And it does, I think it does scare Silicon Valley that people like me, it's not just me, but people like me who can't be controlled with money, who, and I don't want to sound like I'm patting myself here on the back too much, but people who do offer a well-crafted, well-articulated argument. It's not that I'm saying that I am 100% correct all the time, but I'm not the, what was that? I think they featured it today. The Tiki Torch White Nationalists. You will not replace us. To this day, nobody really even understands what the fuck they're even talking about. Why? Because they did a piss poor job of crafting their narrative. This channel, I have worked very hard to craft a narrative that lets you know what I'm all about. I've tried anyway. How do you feel about that? That's what I got written down here. With Facebook being turned into an echo chamber. If I'm not mistaken, I believe today I just created maybe my 20th Facebook account this month alone. The accounts are getting disabled about once a day now. It's just unreal. You would think it's futile to go to their community guidelines, because their guidelines, the language, it's gotten so incredibly vague, and deliberately so. They don't want to be pigeonholed into a regimented rule of what you can say, what you can't say. They want to remain fluid, to be able to control what you're saying and what gets put out there on the platform if they themselves feel that it's not appropriate. So yes, Facebook, right along with YouTube and all the other platforms, they're being transmuted into a massive echo chamber. Dissenting opinions like mine. We've heard for a while now that liberals have been taking over, conservatives have been marginalized, falling farther and farther into the minority. I'm definitely not a liberal. Libertarian, I suppose you would classify me as. I don't really know if that even covers it as well. Because conservatives do have so many bigoted standpoints, I guess I don't really align and fit into their party either. However, I am definitely looking to strike some temporary alliances here to keep America free. How do you feel about Facebook being turned into a massive echo chamber? Probably one of the many talking points and topics that get my Facebook accounts, all the many of them, disabled is when I will put out there for the whole, like, if there's a story about, oh, science says that you can prevent 30,000 deaths by if everybody just wore a mask. Okay, so in addition to the whole disability argument, so not just simply the disability that I'm talking here, but in addition to in addition to the in addition to the whole disability thing, there is civil liberties for everybody. It's not just simply disabled people, but everybody has civil liberties. Abortion. I have it written down here. I am off the fence on abortion, and while the unlawful executive orders are in effect for face rags and dismantling of the First Amendment, gathering, and yeah, I guess probably speaking too, you know. While that is in effect, then I believe that all abortion, regardless of how the child was conceived, whether it's incest, rape, whatever, threat to mother's life, I don't give a shit. All abortion should immediately be rendered as illegal. If need be, then the mother should be strapped down to a bed and forced to give birth. If that sounds draconian and awful and disgusting, well, join the club. If you can make medical decisions about my body then I can start to make medical decisions about your body. Okay? And what's so, for those of you who know, you go to abortion, pro-choice, pro-abortion rallies, the two sides. You look over to the pro-choice side, and they got big ass signs that says what? My choice, my body. Oh, all of a sudden, you want your body and your decision to make medical decisions about your body respected. Well, I can definitely empathize, sister. I can definitely emphasize. My choice, my body. Exactly. Um, that's when our alt left, our radicalized alt left, would probably go into their talking points about, oh, this is different, this is a pandemic, this is spreading everywhere, this is. How much protection do you need? Huh? I mean, just how close do you get to people when you talk to them? Do you get this close? Who remembers Twizzlers? I am a mouth. And you know what makes mouths happy? Twizzlers. How close do you get to people? Hmm? You know, I was watching. I can never get enough of watching Smallville, and I forget, what am I on, season two? Club Zero, Zero Consequences. Lex is abducted. He's in a gym. He's hanging upside down, and his abductor comes, and he's all bound up. He's like in a straitjacket. And he comes over and he's touching Lex's face, you know, stroking the chin. You know, have you ever seen it? It's very classic storytelling. Because I know I rode white people's ass about black people and white people have two very different concepts of personal space. Black people want more personal space than what white people are normally accustomed to. White people tend to get into your personal space a lot more. And of course, that probably attributes to why, despite what they were saying on the news, the majority of the cases have indeed been white. I have no idea why they started lying, saying that black people are so impacted. I mean, what are you? Are you embarrassed or something that your race was a vector, a stronger vector of transmission? I don't know. But white people do. However, thankfully, white people are not quite that bad. They're not Hollywood bad, as they like to call it. In your drama classes, I don't even know if they would allow this in high school, because they might, with everything being so Me Too'd. That kind of blocking, it's what they call blocking, where you stand and the mark, an actor walks in and they hit their mark on the floor. You probably don't realize just how close everything is, unless if there was a camera angle that broke the fourth wall. I'm sorry if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Where you saw like all the director's chair sitting around the scene, and you would see that the two actors, as to how close they are standing to each other in a scene, where it doesn't necessarily feel that close. in your everyday life, you probably have no idea. You're probably not necessarily paying attention as to exactly how much personal space you are giving to your fellow man. And that's good. That is good. We were already giving each other enough personal space. But yeah, Hollywood, man, they got you right up in there, man. The blocking is weird. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic scene. It could just simply be all kinds of scenes. Parents talking to kids, siblings talking, people getting aggressive and in each other's face, or people having a don't fuck with me kind of a, you know. And then they go to touch and the slapping and the, I was like, the way he was stroking Lex's face and the chin, I was like, God damn, what are you gonna do? You're gonna start to finger fuck him in his mouth? What's next? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. South Park. Anyway, how much protection do you need? I brought along some props here. Stuff you guys have seen before. Okay. So I'll open up my shot. Take it back. And I'm going to knock this cord on the floor. Okay. So because in my heyday riding days, I did a great deal of riding. As you guys know, the bicycle was set up for heavy duty wear and tear, basically, we'll put it like that. My bicycle tires, this is the type that I use. Okay, hopefully it's not backwards. Schwab Marathon Plus. Okay, Schwab Marathon Plus has level 7. I am really hoping this is not backwards. Level 7, people. Level 7, that's tippity top. Tippity top for Schwab. Schwab-E. Okay. And this is, in case you were wondering, this is what's on the inside of the tire. Okay. So there are videos on YouTube where people will demonstrate the puncture resistance of this tire by taking thumbtacks and sticking it into all the way around the tire. I guess they got nothing better to do. And then they would ride on the tire and the tire would not go flat, as a way of demonstrating its puncture resistance. And in addition to this, I also have our thorn resistant inner tube, thorn resistant inner tube. So we got these two, these dynamic duo on the rims of the Black Rider. Now, by the way, that Schwab-E tire, it retails, depending on where you buy it from, anywhere between $50 to $60 for each tire. So just outfitting the Black Rider in new tires can cost about $100 or $120. That's just for the tires, and of course the inner tubes, that's another $30. So you're talking something like $150 just to put tires and tubes on the bike. Does everybody need that kind of protection? Does everybody need level 7 flat protection? As I like to people watch here, I look out my window and I see my fellow neighbors, and they're out on their bikes of varying designs. There's a couple of e-bikes out there too. And these people will go no farther than this neighborhood whatsoever. So they're not going to be out in traffic. They're staying within the confines of quiet side streets. And therefore, given how the tire and tube, they can make your wheels they can make your wheels very heavy. Okay. It's why so many people will go with a lighter tire and tube. Makes riding the bicycle easier, lighter. So not everybody needs that kind of protection. I am saying all this. Why am I saying all this? How much protection do you need? If you already have, what do I want to use here? I guess I use my paper towel. This is the same paper towel, this type of paper towel that I was using. Okay. If your head is mummified already, okay, if you are a person who believes that you have to have, you're mummified up, so be it. Your body, your choice. If anything, if I were governor, I would have created an executive order that says that businesses cannot deny service to citizens who feel the need to utilize a face rag. Okay, we can protect people if they feel they need this for their own health. Empower people to make their own medical decisions. So if you're all done up, okay, and we are of normal distance, okay, if we're not in Hollywood blocking, if we're not, where are you going, Johnny? Where you been? We've been looking for you. You think you're okay? If you're not standing so close to somebody, because that's what everybody's saying. In other words, that's where I was going with that whole thing. In case you can't tell, droplets. Oh my God, your droplets. Is it? Okay. Let's see. This is how I know I've been moving the camera in and out, but this is where the camera's been. Okay. Because you guys know I cough. This is okay. What is this? 9 inches? No jokes. What is it, about 9 inches? So from my mouth to where the camera is. Okay. As I've been sitting here coughing, I have noticed there was a couple of droplets, I guess that's what you want to call it. They did escape. Okay. That's about a 9-inch trajectory. Okay. Are you seriously telling me you want to get closer to somebody's fucking face than 9 inches? How much protection do you need? Honestly. If you feel the need to cover your face, by all means, I don't want to stop you. By all means, do it. Okay? But if there are persons like me, I'm sorry. If you think I'm coughing now, Jesus Christ, if you think I'm coughing now, it's not just simply from it wouldn't just be paper towel, but also something like a trying to get my dish rag here. Okay. If I were to take something like this and turn it into a face rag, because that's what it is now, it's just a rag, okay? The kind of lint, see if I can get it closer, okay? Huh? Your throat becomes a fucking lint trap, okay? Have you cleaned your dryer lately? All of that, as you're sucking air through your rag, your throat becomes a lint trap. If you think I'm coughing now, this will do irreparable harm to the damage I already have, okay? And to people who are not injured thus far respiratory, it could then be argued, are these non-medical rags causing injury? The lint particles that you are inhaling as you're sucking air through non-medical rags. I'm guessing nobody thought about that, huh? Okay, so hey, I am not delusional. You're right. As I sat here today talking with you, occasionally there was a piece of spit, droplet, whatever you want to call it. It shot out and it probably landed, I would estimate, about 9 inches away. Okay? Maybe get it close. Does that give you a... Okay? My glasses, the width of my... Maybe twice the width of my glasses. Okay? Are you seriously telling me that you're in somebody's face closer than that? If you are, I think you got there's going to be a problem. That's the assault. Okay? You shouldn't be standing there closest. You shouldn't be all up in their goddamn face like this, okay? Okay? Stand your ass back. Okay? And necessarily, hey, you'll never hear me arguing over social distancing. So far, I haven't gotten any problems. So I get it. I am not a pandemic believer. So it's not like I am just simply saying all this to just, if you will, just throw monkey wrenches into your plandemic, your scamdemic operation you got going here. I personally believe that it's going to destroy itself. You just got too many lies, way too many lies to constantly have to explain. Another reason why my accounts get disabled on Facebook, as I sit there and point out, what do we got here? CNN says Black Lives Matter protest okay. Has anybody seen that? I'll link that down below. I'm going to link down a few things. You probably have seen it already. Even in Facebook's comment section, CNN's Facebook comment section, even CNN's supporters were just throwing out laughing emojis like crazy. The report reads like batshit bananas, where they are literally saying Black Lives, these mass gatherings for Black Lives Matter are not causes of spikes in the southern states. That's not, but reopening is. Okay, I believe down, we got Breonna Taylor and Elijah Cummings. I believe those are the two biggest protests that are raging right now, and rightfully so. I want to make that clear. I fully support those protests, but I am sorry. You are not going to hypno-mind fuck me. Woo, swirling, black and white swirling. Woo. You're not going to hypno-mind fuck me into thinking. Well, basically, the way one commenter replying to my comment said, she kind of summed up the lunacy of the logic. She was actually heckling what I said. She said, the problem is, I'm paraphrasing here, the problem is that people like you don't believe in it. Really? I'm hitting 29. I hope this thing doesn't shut me off. Take a swig. I guess I'll wrap with this because I don't know when this thing's going to shut me off or not. Belief. And of course our alt-left, I'm sure there are believers, religious believers among them, but they do primarily tend to be agnostic-y, atheist-ish, you know. Um, so you are what? You're worshiping at the altar of Fauci? Is Fauci your God? Is that who you put your belief in? His false science? You know, as he tells you, Black Lives Matter is perfectly safe. Those protests are safe. But nope, going to a bar with 50 people in it, that's a fucking death sentence. Oh. Oh. Attila's Gym, they rolled out the nines of, we're talking all kinds of fucking protection and shit. Uh-huh. How many people could possibly fit in that gym? Okay. That's deemed as a death sentence. But the marches that are accruing as I speak for Elijah and Breonna Taylor, okay, those are perfectly legit. Those have been bibbity bobbity boo, you know, deemed. How does the priest say? It's been ages since my Catholic schooling. Mahu fore, mahu fore, mahu fore. And on the fifth day, the Archangel Gabriel. I'm serious. That's how crazy you're being. You're not making any sense. This mass gathering is no, excuse me, because reopening isn't a mass gathering. You know, oh, here's a restaurant. Here's a bar. Here's a gym. Here's a salon. Here's a barber shop. But you know, half dozen people in it, and just going about life as normal. But that's a death sentence. Oh my God, you are spreading plague. My God, you're gonna kill us all. God damn it. But we can, yes, in our protest, angrily do like Hollywood, get in each other's face. Fuck you, black people. Fuck you, bigot. Fuck you. That's perfectly okay. Thus saith the demigod Anthony Fauci. Well, hey, who am I? I'm just some security guard who retired, disabled. Who am I? Who am I to argue with that? Okay. Before I get shut off here, what else I want to talk about? How much protection do you need? We did that. One thing I'll talk about is in that CNN study of protest, if I'm not mistaken, they talked about researchers what gave them this opinion. They never said who the researchers were, or what university, or what agency they're with. It's just researchers, just throwing it out. Researchers. You see, journalists might be able to let that shit fly when they say, sources say. But if you're saying something that's scientific, then where's our backup data? They also went on to say that studies proved that studies proved that the masks stopped the spread. What studies? And on what type of mask or fabric? What type of cloth? You see, I might not be a scientist, but I do understand how experiments are conducted. You would have to conduct an experiment on a wide variety of different cloths, okay? Control groups. They'd have to be groups where nobody wore a face covering, another group where only half wore a face covering, and another group where everybody wore a face covering, okay? What study? And what researchers? Who are you even talking about? It's all made up. It's all just all made up shit. Okay? Um, Fermat's last theorem. Apparently, it was solved not too long ago by a 61-year-old. I didn't write his name down. Uh, he heard about the theorem, which was first discovered. It was a it was a scribbled in the margins of Fermat's notebook. Yeah, I heard about it from Star Trek. I'm struggling to remember what it's n to the x, y to the power of. Anyway, it's definitely above my head, but it's not like a big long theorem. It's just, x to the n, y to the n, something like that. And nobody was able, because it was just a doodling of Fermat, and there was no supporting. It's what in mathematics is what's called a proof. Okay, if you are putting forward a finding, a mathematical finding, or a scientific, biological, whatever, it has to be accompanied with the data. It's what's called the proof. Okay, you don't assemble your constituency unless you've got the receipts. Okay, unless you can prove this shit. What are you talking about when you talk about science says mass work? What proof, what legitimate proof do you have, okay? Because otherwise, you just simply have a bunch of doctors, people with fancy letters at the beginning or the end of their name on your payroll who are pontificating their opinions. And we're supposed to take that as analytical fact. I'm sorry, no. Let's see, what else? We're about to hit the end here. Beverly Hills Cop, Tailpipe. Come on, we've all seen the movie. I need to get rid of all of my carbon dioxide, okay? I'm not going to fall for a banana in a tailpipe, okay? So I'm sorry, I'm not going to fall for your face rag clogging up my exhaust pipe, okay? God only knows, I'm already working with I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Can you see it? I wish I had wait a minute here. I know, I'm sorry, I'm about to get gross on you. Can you see it? Right there. That's the deviated septum. See how, even with me holding my nose open, as opposed to the other side? See? It's all occlusion, as opposed to the other side. I really wish to God you could see it. It's just, I won't take you any farther in. But yeah, seriously, it is like ball up a piece of paper towel and just shove it up your nose. If you think a deviated septum isn't that, if it doesn't encumber upon your breathing, then by all means, plug up one of your nostrils, thinking that your other nostril and your mouth will be sufficient. Go ahead, do it. Let's see how you get along before all of a sudden, I don't think it'll